Welcome to the Ask Jordan podcast, answering your questions about selling on Amazon. Now, he's flipped more toys than a stadium full of toddlers. From Long Island, New York, here's your host, Jordan Malik.
Hello there, Amazon sellers. This is your host, Jordan Malik. This is the Ask Jordan podcast, 47th episode. Over 57,000 downloads to date. We've been on doing podcasts on iTunes since about mid-March. So 6 months, over 57,000 downloads. Thank you so much. This show is all about you. You make this show. I do not do this to hear my voice. This is my way of helping other beginning and intermediate Amazon sellers figure out what to sell, how to make more profits, how to operate their business. And I've been receiving your emails and your compliments. It's an honor that you like the show. It's an honor to be part of your world today. This is the podcast. If you're with us for the first time today, welcome. We only answer your questions about selling on Amazon. So every episode, we answer a different question from you, the listener, about selling on Amazon. If you missed an episode, just go over to askjordan.net, askjordan.net, where we have our previous shows archived, and you can find out how to listen to them on YouTube or iTunes or the RSS feed, or just press the play button right there, listen to them right on the webpage. Now, if you want to hear your voice on an episode and get 7 of my best-selling ebooks 100% free, I'm going to tell you how you can do that after we answer today's question. Today's question is from Ryan in Mississippi. Go ahead, Ryan.
Hey, Jordan. This is Ryan from Mississippi. Me and my girlfriend have been selling on Amazon for about 3 months. We recently ran into a fairly hot item that sold several times a day. And we see that our item sold several at the same time, and then lo and behold, competing sellers' prices went up soon after. So we're wondering, is it possible for other sellers to purchase your items and leave them pending so that they can get their sales ahead of you? If so, is this a prevalent problem? Is there something you can do about it? Thanks for your help. We enjoy your podcast.
Ryan, I am so glad you brought that up. That's a great question. Yet, what the phenomena that you're encountering does happen once in a while to sellers. Here's what happened. I'm going to break it down for people that may be new to this concept, what Ryan is referring to. So let's say Ryan has 100 blue widgets on sale for Amazon, on sale at Amazon. And I'm just saying the word blue widgets because I can't think of any other product. So he has a blue widget that's very hot, and he's selling it on Amazon. Now let's say Ryan has quantity 100 of these selling on Amazon, and he has about 10 other sellers competing with him. What an unscrupulous seller might do is they may act as a buyer or as a shopper on Amazon.com, either using their existing account, or they may have a separate account they use just for buying merchandise. And they'll, knowing that Ryan is the lowest price, that probably means he has the buy box. Let's talk about that for a minute. When you're selling on Amazon, Amazon may feature your price within the buy box on that product page. So on the blue widget page that you're looking at as a buyer, it may say shipped and sold by Ryan's bluewidgets.com or whatever. Ryan's Blue Widgets is the company name. And for a while, Ryan may have the buy box, meaning it's the only price that's featured on the product page, because Amazon will feature you if you are among the lowest priced, and if there's other criteria that go into that. But usually the lowest price seller, the lowest price competing seller, has the best exposure on Amazon.com on the product page. Now, if you're not the lowest seller and your price isn't featured in the buy box, it'll say sold by competitor X, but it'll say new and used starting at $4.99, and when you click on that link, Amazon will bring you to the page where it lists all the sellers. Okay, so what happens is a competing seller may look at that and say, hey, gee, Ryan's product is featured on the homepage quite a lot. What happens if he runs out of stock? Well, let me put 100 of his widgets, blue widgets, in my cart like I'm going to buy them. And even though I'm not going to buy them, they're going to be sitting in my cart. And because when the next seller comes along looking for that blue widget, Ryan being featured as a seller, either on the product page or as among the other sellers, he's not going to be there anymore because Amazon's going to recognize that Ryan is out of stock. Now, Ryan's not truly out of stock. The competitor has placed 100, Ryan's full 100 that he has, It's in his own shopping basket. This is the competitor's shopping basket, like he's buying like a consumer, right? Amazon has this kind of generous policy that's meant for true shoppers. When you put something in your cart, if I wanted to buy a new microphone for my podcasting show, and I put it in my cart, Amazon lets me have it in my cart without checking out. And I forget the number of days. It's 3 days or 7 days or 10 days. I forget the amount of days, but essentially Amazon is kind of holding it in my cart for me. So if there's only one microphone left of that type that I want available on Amazon, it'll show out of stock to everybody else, meaning there's only one seller selling this microphone. I have it in my cart. Amazon will show it out of stock because I've got it in my cart, even though I haven't paid for it yet. So the unscrupulous sellers have figured this out and says, hey, if I can remove Ryan from the picture even temporarily, then I'll be the lowest price seller of the blue widgets. And people will buy my product, the exact same blue widget, but it's sold by me. And Ryan, that's a scenario that I hear comes up once in a while or a little more frequently among other sellers. Other sellers have complained, rightfully so, about the same situation you're in. So if you suspect that's the case, if you suspect, and Ryan said it, that somebody buys a whole bunch of them, it doesn't make any sense. Somebody's buying 100 blue widgets and putting them in their cart. It's probably not a consumer. It's probably a competitor. And I know that's against Amazon terms of service. If you're an unscrupulous seller who does that, you can actually risk getting banned from selling on Amazon or some other disciplinary action. So Ryan, if you suspect that is happening, the best course of action is to send a request to, log into your Amazon seller account and your seller dashboard, go to help, send an email to Amazon seller support that way through their online form system there, and let them know the ASIN, meaning the Amazon assigned identification number for the product, and you suspect that you don't even have to say another seller, you can suspect that a buyer has, actually I wouldn't say that. Why don't you just be honest and say, I suspect another seller has hoarded these items in their attempt to keep me out of the marketplace. And just be nice and polite about it, because that goes a long way with Amazon. And just, you don't have to accuse any seller. You can just say, I suspect that a seller is doing this. What Amazon will most likely do is purge that seller's shopping cart and maybe even give them a warning. I don't know, meaning the person who's put all their 100 widgets in their shopping cart. They will purge that shopping cart. So that seller who goes to back on to look at their shopping cart, it will no longer say, you have 100 of these blue widgets in your shopping cart, right? It'll say 0. Or Amazon will say, we've removed these items from your shopping cart or whatever, and they'll be available again for any buyer to buy on Amazon. So that's your best course of action. And Ryan, I suspect if this has happened to you repeatedly, as long as you can keep complaining each time, you can then eventually say to Amazon, look, I've filed 6 cases about this same scenario. My gut tells me that Amazon will go through the extra lengths to figure out which seller is doing that and discipline them accordingly. I don't know of any sellers who've actually been banned for doing that. I personally don't know any sellers who do that unscrupulous practice of putting a bunch of items in a shopping cart so they can be the lowest price. But I've never heard of a seller getting banned. Maybe some sellers have been getting banned from doing it. The good thing is I don't think it'll be a sustained problem that keeps happening again and again, because that's not in Amazon's best interest. Amazon's best interest is to protect the buyer, the end buyer, the true end buyer who really wants that item. And that practice that your competitor is doing may even be illegal. I don't even know. It's definitely against Amazon's terms and conditions for their sellers. And Amazon doesn't like that when people start artificially playing around with other people's inventory and sales, etc. So Ryan, please keep me posted when you send me an email, and I'm going to tell you how to do that in a minute. Let me know how things are going, because you submitted your question probably about a good month ago, and I'm curious how things are now. So Ryan gets all 7 of my ebooks about selling on Amazon and eBay. Ryan, just go to AskJordan.net, click on the small envelope icon near the upper right-hand corner, and send me an email so I know where I can send your ebooks to. And Ryan, also when you do that, please update me. I want to hear what happened. If you, the listener, want to submit a question to the podcast and have a chance to win all of my best-selling ebooks, just like Ryan, call 516-619-ONLINE. That's 516-619-6654. Or just go to AskJordan.net, scroll down a little bit, and look for the directions on how to submit your question. Hey, thanks for listening. This has been the Ask Jordan Podcast, and we'll see you again in our next episode.